What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to start. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. What he had on looked like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequence. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yana Van Zam's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. And you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. Hit me up in my DMs because I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hey, y'all, I'm coming. Jesus Christ, superstar. That song never gets old. Jesus Christ, superstar. Okay. Woo. What's going on, y'all? What is going on? What's going on? What's up, y'all? Get myself situated here. Had to go back and get my snacks ready. All right. We're here. Snacks on. I'm still making my way through this 2.5 pound bag of snacks that sponsored by Maggie Quintessential. She added to the snack fund, and I got some of that. Ooh, let me clean this camera. It look real. Oh. All right. Ooh, that's better. Jesus. What's going on, y'all? What is up? What up? Hey. Let's see who we got here. Cams is in the building. You took off early for this. Well, thank you, my love. Hey, Tracy, Morgan. Hey, Willie. I ain't seen you in a minute. Where you been hiding? Ravine, hey boom. Hey, when I saw this story, I was wondering if you saw it and was gonna touch on I used to work. Child, we gonna get to it. Hey Miss Trisha P. Hey Just Simply. Child, I was late because I was over there on the Twitter because some troglodyte, I don't even know who this person is, decided that he was gonna call out a bunch of us YouTubers and say, child, I ain't got time. I ain't even had time. I was like, girl, I don't got time for whoever this is. But it's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. I can't keep up, y'all. Let me tell you, I try to be here and be a voice for the people and really stay in the know. I took a break from hope all, yeah, all has been well. Hey, Nicole Stevens, boo. Hey, boo. Hey, Just Simply, hey, everybody. Listen, I try to stay informed, be a man of the people, keep my ear to the ground, and make sure that I keep y'all up to speed on everything that's going on. But it's always every day it's something new. And you know, over here in this neck of the woods, when we're not using, outdated colloquialism like neck of the woods, we really try to feature stories that I really feel matter. Y'all know I'm not really big on a lot of the celebrity news and stuff like that. We'll do some of that stuff on Silly Saturdays, and sometimes on Run Your Mouth. But I really try to stay ahead of the curve with a lot of news and news stories as they come out. So y'all know we were talking about Rasheem Carter yesterday, before it got a whole lot of traction. You wake up this morning, not everybody and their grandpappy want to talk about Rasheem Carter. Y'all know we be ahead of the curve here. We'll get to our Rasheem Carter updates in the later in today's live. The dossier. I try to keep the dossiers not that packed because I know really B goes live at about 6:30 ish. So I try to keep it down to about an hour and 15 minutes or so, maybe an hour and a half if I get on here on time. And that way I can give you all as much as I can between the time I have availability and 5:30. Not 5:30, 6:30. So I have a couple of stories. Listen, let me do this first story first. Because the first story, I ain't diving in the deep end. We're not going through, we're not, making our way through the weeds in the first story. I don't have to start dragging people yet in the first story. I was yesterday year old when I learned, child. I might touch on that a little bit. I might, because I saw that. I might. Hey, Budgets Waits. Hey, boo. So y'all go ahead and share this out, please. Because like I said, especially when we're doing the politics of it all, I like for y'all to share it out because there's a lot of important information. It's not frivolous, celebrity news, lighthearted stuff. We really have a good deal of important information that we oftentimes want to get out. So let's make sure that we're doing that, sharing this out and so forth. Wherever you do your social medias. So the first story is real quick. It's a real hit it and quit it. Hit it and quit it. So, girl, I'm already neating my drink. Drink of the day, Crayon Tropical. I know this is not Silly Saturday. I know we don't have any ABCs. We're gonna get to it. Let me do this. Let me do this. Anyway, so listen. We're in the great state of California. Bluest of blue states. Oh no, we don't have any racism in California. Well, yes, you do. Oh no, that's in the outskirts, the more rural areas. Well, not so much. We're in the great state of California, in the city of San Diego. Hey, So Jeff, what's going on, sir? When the city of San Diego in the great state of California, and in the city of San Diego in the great state of California, there is there's a film and acting and film school for high school students, and it's called the Carlsbad High School Film Academy. And it's a film academy where you learn all things involving motion picture sciences, acting, film, so forth. So, in the great city of San Diego, which you would believe would be the bastion of liberalism, we're having a bit of a quagmire down there. So the Carlsbad on they had a meeting last week Wednesday of the Carlsbad Unified School District where they voted unanimously in favor of introducing a film academy ethnic studies class to students in the 23-24 school year. And while some parents think the course material is exactly what students need, other parents around the San Diego area school district are accusing it of being just a little too woke and introducing CRT into their school and the curriculum. Here's here are the objectives that the course are supposed to cover. Now, it is mandatory for freshmen moving forward, but next year, any of the upperclassmen or older students, they have the option to take it as an elective. But starting with next school year's freshmen, it will be required course. So here's the objectives of the course. Understand identity, race, ethnicity, intersectionality, culture, and racism. Hollywood's understanding Hollywood's representation of stereotypes and their impacts. Discussing the effects of cultural appropriation on the film industry. Looking at early contributions by people of color in the film industry, impact, considering the impact of various social movements on people of color in the film industry, and looking at emerging voices of people of color in the film industry. Those are what's good, Fi? What's good, Sean? Um, those are the objectives. Now, and so students, the school district, the superintendent are here for it. They want it. They have no problem with it. But there's this subsect of parents that are crying foul and saying that it's introducing CRT into their school district. There is a group called the Carlsbad Education Alliance, which is made up of parents, students, and teachers, even within the school district. And this group, the Carlsbad Education Alliance, are the ones that are saying, oh, this is a little too close to CRT and so forth. This is in San Diego, people. I mean, this ain't rural Mississippi. This ain't rural areas in North Carolina. This ain't the backwoods of North Dakota. This is in Southern California. And let's be clear and honest. This is absolutely the right answer, because if you talk about attacking uh those people who will be entering the motion picture industry, acting behind the camera, behind the scenes, you want these people to be very in tune with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
You want all of these things taught from early on so that they can be agents of um, progress later on in the acting industry. Hey, Regina, I ain't seen you in a minute, boo. Where you been hiding? So and Regina, make sure you send me your I need your information, your IG information, so we can add you to the IG group, the members only IG group. They be clowning in the members only IG group. If you're in the members of the members on, if you ain't a part of the members only IG group, please become a member. They be clowning up in there. We be on there 24 hours a day. They be in there clowning in the members only IG group. Please believe. Anyway, but yeah, send me a email or a DM on Instagram with your IG name, and I'll add you to the IG group. Anyway, so so we're concerned about it. We'll make sure we monitor the situation. Those of you out there in California, monitor this situation, because what will happen is this stuff will start to spread. If these parents are successful in stopping things like this in blue states, they won't stop with just their area. They will send the blueprint to other areas and start the ball rolling. So you got to stop this stuff and snuff it out from the very beginning. So we're going to monitor that. I told you I had a real quick story. That was just a real quick one and done. We ain't going to labor long on that. We ain't going to waste a lot of time on that. That's about as good as it gets for the rest of the show. So let's get this out of the way. Ladies, gentlemen, non-gender conforming members of our audience, it's time for your Sugar Spike segment.
Oh God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major Sugar Spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave, his only begotten son.
Major Sugar Spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major Sugar Spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. This is my favorite part right here. Oh, the Sugar Spike intro is so good. Ciao. So we're going to the great state of, as my brother used to say, West Cousin, Wisconsin. And in the great state of Wisconsin, lawmakers, specifically Republican lawmakers in the great state of Wisconsin, have voted again to keep and allow conversion therapy for all LGBTQ plus members of their great state. There's no outlawing of this insidious and dangerous practice. As a matter of fact, it's gotten the green light to continue. You used to pronounce it like that. That's what my little brother used to say, West Cousin. It's West Cousin. Anyway, but Wisconsin. So there was on Tuesday, there was a vote that took place on proposed legislation to, in effect, permit the continued use of the discredited and harmful practice of conversion therapy in Wisconsin. The Republicans on the Joint Committee for the Review of Administrative Rules had earlier suspended a ban on the practice made last December by the state's Marriage and Family Therapy, Professional Counseling, and Social Work Examining Board, saying the board had overstepped its authority. Republican legislatures introduced a bill codifying their decision into law, but the bill faced an uncertain future with Governor Tony Evans, a Democrat. By voting to send the bill back to committee rather than a possible veto from the governor, Republicans prevented the bill on conversion therapy from going into effect. Republicans prevented the ban
on conversion therapy from going into effect. Opponents. So let me read that again, because that you might have gotten lost in the weeds with the procedural stuff again, because this is very important that y'all hear this. Let me read that again. The Republicans, there was the law was on the books. Conversion therapy was legal. Now, there was a board, a state board, which was the state's marriage and family therapy, professional counseling, and social work examining board, that banned conversion therapy. Okay. Now, the Republicans, who have control of the legislature there, they um, had a joint committee that reviewed um, that rule, and they suspended the ban that that state board put into place. So they suspended that ban of conversion therapy. So then they introduced um, they put they introduced a law that codified the ban, saying that that board didn't have the right to ban conversion therapy, and they put into law that that board could no longer um, make a wide decision and ban conversion therapy. So, but they knew that their governor was Republican. So I'm not Republican, Democrat, and he would not go along with that. So instead of sending it to his desk, they sent it back to committee, which means that since they sent it back to the committee and the committee suspended the ban was still suspended because the governor, it didn't never got to the governor's desk. So right now, what they did was they voted to send it back to committee, not send it to the governor. It'll stay at the assembly floor, at the assembly, and it's procedural stuff. So basically, what they did was they said, yeah, you can go ahead and use all of your conversion therapy, your shock therapy treatments, and or conversion therapies that are trying to talk people or pressure people into not no longer identifying as LGBTQ plus. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've already scientifically proven that these things are a matter of science. You can't pray the gay away. Doesn't work like that. You can't pray the gay away in the same way you're not going to pray away your left hand. It'd be like saying, "Oh God, I don't want this left hand. Please take this left hand away from me." No, you have a left hand. It's a part of who you are. Oh, I don't want this black hair. I'm going to cut all my hair off. Yeah, you might want to dye your hair, or you could dye your hair all you want. But guess what? When that hair starts to grow back, it's going to grow back black and not blonde. I don't care how much you want to be blonde. When your hair grows, because your DNA says that your hair is black, guess how it's going to go? Black. You can mask it. You can put a hat over it. You can cut it off. But as long as you're alive and you continue to grow hair, it's going to grow black. And in the same way, you can try to say, "Oh, I ain't gay." You can go and try to have some kids. You can have a whole family. You can suppress your feelings. But at the end of the day, those urges, those desires, that who you are will continue to surface. This is the great state of Wisconsin. This is the great state of Wisconsin. Where in 2023, we are still allowing conversion therapy. Cam, that's next. Bringing back lobotomies and stuff like that. Remember, if you remember, there was an episode of Lovecraft Country where when the dad told his son about when Montrose told Tick about him and his sexuality from when he was a boy, he told him the story of them snatching the pastor out of the pulpit and him being confined to a mental institution, and the fact that he didn't want to end up that way. These things happen. Remember, it was a mental illness for most of the history of this country
being LGBTQ plus was considered a mental illness. Mind you, you have it in the animal kingdom. You have it in insects. You have it in just about every species. I was just looking at a story today. Scientists have already found a way. They created a baby mouse with two male mice. They created a baby from two male mice. This happened. I saw it. You can look it up. But this is what y'all have going on in the year of our Lord 2023. And you're going to have people that will gladly sign up to go through conversion therapies because they've been castigated and they have been, from the time of their inception, from the time that they could walk, from the time that they could talk, they have been groomed into thinking they've been indoctrinated to believe that everything about them is wrong, that everything that they're doing is wrong, when all they're doing is being themselves and living as a person. So Tracy says she's offered her uterus to anybody who wants it. I mean, God help us. But I mean, I was looking at a video this morning. I put it in a member only chat where this man was upset because there was a pastor who was saying, yes, I'm a pastor, and yes, I'm same gender loving. Get over it. And the man was spewing all of his same bigoted, homophobic tropes that he had heard all his life in church and so forth, just spewing it over and over and over relentlessly about how this man was wrong and how, he even went as far as to say, oh, because he was being interviewed by this lady, and the lady asked him what was his sign, and he said, "Oh, I'm a Scorpio." He was like, "Oh, he can't be a pastor because pastors can't believe in astrology or whatnot." It was a mess. It was a whole mess. A whole mess. Like, some of these people be way too fucking deep, way too goddamn deep. You know what I'm saying? Just way too deep. Like, oh, you can't believe that means you can't. Even if you say I don't believe in astrology that much, most people can identify what their astrological sign is. If somebody asks you, like, what sign are you? You can. I don't care how much you say you don't believe in it. You would know what your astrological sign is, because that's just something that some people be way too deep in the weeds. Okay, way too deep in the woods. And some of these people screaming all of the most homophobic tropes in the world be the main ones getting bust down right in the balcony at the church, in the back pew, in the bathroom, in the goddamn church, getting their backs blown the fuck out, taking facials in the back of the goddamn choir stand, over there giving hand jobs and blow jobs in the back corner of the parking lot in somebody's back seat. Let me get off my soapbox. We don't have that long, do we? News story today. You'll start to see this on your timelines today. News story today of another black man who was killed at the hands of police and authorities and people not doing the right thing. I told you all, I can't freaking keep up. Every day is somebody new. Every day there's a new story. And I just can't, goddamn it, keep the fuck up. Hey, Janae. Hey, Harold. You can't even get off where I'm already going. Like, oh, Mars, I didn't even give y'all the time. We're going to go with 540 again. 540 worked great yesterday, so we'll use 540 again today. Hall monitors,
Monitor the door, monitor the hallway. After 5:40 at 5:41, y'all know what to do. We got one more good essay. One more good today's essay. Ain't even 3,000. We got 5,000 today. 5,000 word essay today. No 3,000 today. Five Tracy, ain't no hall passes. We ain't selling no damn hall passes. At 5:41, they getting this good essay. 5,000 words. Don't ask no questions. See how Harold came up in here on before 5:41? Harold is okay. Janae okay. Now after 5:40, people go come in. Hey, I'll tell you. I say, hey, how you doing? Hall monitors, y'all already know what to do. We ain't got no hall passes for them today, Tracy. None. None. No hall passes. I done shared the video out on my community wall. I posted it in enough time for hopefully YouTube put the notification out. Y'all know YouTube ain't shit. Anyway, they could be here on time. I ain't giving no hall back. See, look at them falling out. Go ahead and fall out the bushes now. Say hey, Yana. What's good, Yana? I saw Yana in Thais this chat. I'll be over there at Thais all the time. Child, I've been following Thais for I believe I've been following Thais probably since like October last year. I think like October last year I started following Thais. Thais be over there good. Child, we have fun over there at Thais. Sean be over there at Thais too. Child. Sean be over there. Harold, don't you be over there too? Or is that the other Harold? One of the Harolds. Child, we be having a good time over there. They be clowning. Anyway, so new story, new person that we're gonna have to. You're gonna start to hear his name. So this young man is African. He is African. I forgot which part of Africa he's from. I know I knew or I read it and just don't remember. Kenya. His family is from Kenya. Thank you. Oh, okay, yeah. I introduced really B to Thais a couple months ago. Told her about Thais, so she be in the bushes over there. hmm Okay, so his name is Irvo Otieno. First name is IRVO. Last name is OTIENO. Okay, first, oh yeah, Thais, somebody will put it in the chat. First name is IRVO. Last name is OTIENO. Irvo is the first name. Otieno is the last name. He was 28 years old. Let me read this for you. 3 hospital employees in Virginia were arrested Thursday and charged with second-degree murder in the death of Irvo Otieno, the 28-year-old black man who died at a state mental health facility last week. The Office of the Commonwealth's attorney for Dinwiddie County said in a news release obtained by CNN. Those charged come in addition to the 7 sheriff's deputies who were charged with second-degree murder on Tuesday of this week. The 3 Central State Hospital employees were identified as Darian M. Blackwell, 23, Wavy L. Jones, 34, Cedarius D. Williams, 20, and Cedarius D. Williams of 27. They were arrested Thursday and are being held without bond in the Meherrin River Regional Jail in Brunswick County, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office said. Also on Thursday, Otieno's family watched surveillance video that prosecutors have said show law enforcement officers fatally smothering Otieno. Let me say that again. Otieno's family watched surveillance video. Hey, Montrez. Watched surveillance video that prosecutors have said shows law enforcement officers fatally smothering Otieno. Here's what his mother said. Her name is Carolyn Oko. Quote, my son was treated like a dog, worse than a dog. I saw it with my own eyes on the video. End quote. Otieno died on March 6th at the state mental health facility during the intake process as he was being transferred from Henrico County Jail, according to Commonwealth Attorney Ann Cabell Baskerville. Baskerville says she is not able to release the video to the public. Conveniently. Y'all ain't able to release the video to the public. Conveniently. A mess. Baskerville went on to say, quote, the criminal information warrants are based on the evidence collected, analyzed, and evaluated to date. A key element of that evidence is the surveillance video from Central State Hospital that captures the intake process. To maintain the integrity of the criminal justice process at this time, I am not able to publicly release the video. End quote. Oh, yes, the fuck you can, because this won't be. How many times is video evidence the basis of the evidence for a lot of these murders? And they put it out in the public and they're still able to actually have a freaking trial. Don't try to put it out there. Oh, that's the basis of our evidence, and I can't put it out there because we want to keep, the purity and the sanctity of the and the integrity of the case. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. In court Wednesday, Bakersfield said Otieno was in handcuffs and leg irons and was held on the ground for 12 minutes by all 7 deputies. She said the surveillance video of the incidents is extremely clear and extremely alarming. They smothered him to death, she said. He died of asphyxia due to being smothered. The Office of Chief Medical Examiner in Richmond's preliminary report identifies asphyxiation as a cause of death, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office said in a statement. Of course, who's on the scene? Ben Crump. Ben Crump, I need to have your frequent flyer about, because Ben Crump we were just talking about Ben Crump being with the Rasheem Carter family just yesterday, and now today he over here, which was in Mississippi, and now today he over in Virginia with the family of Ervil Otieno. I ain't mad at Ben Crump. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep fighting for the people. Somebody got to be out there fighting for the people. Keep going, Ben Crump. Keep going. Anyway, the Otieno family and their attorneys were shown the video by prosecutors on Thursday, civil rights attorney Ben Crump said in a news conference. The video, Ben Crump said the video is a commentary on how inhumane law enforcement officials treat people who are having a mental health crisis as criminals rather than treating them as people who are in need of help. And he went on to say he, in the videos, is never confrontational with them. He is not posing a threat to them. He is not violent or aggressive with them. You see in the video, he is restrained with handcuffs. He has leg irons on, and you see in the majority of the video that he seems to be in between lifelessness and unconsciousness. But yet you see him being restrained so brutally with a knee on his neck. End quote. Crump compared the video to that of the death of George Floyd, who was handcuffed, forced to the ground, and held down by Minneapolis police officers in May 2020. This was Crump went on to say this was a mental health crisis. He wasn't committing a crime. End quote. Otieno's mother said the video was, quote, heartbreaking. My son was tortured. So you got the man in handcuffs and leg irons. They got the man on the ground, all 7 officers. They say the man was not being violent. He wasn't being combative, confrontational, and they just snuffed this man out and choked him to damn death. I told y'all this stuff keeps happening. I can't even keep up. Every day is something new. Otieno's family is originally from Kenya, and Ervil came to the United States at the age of 4. Family attorney Mark Crudis told CNN. He had a passion for music and was working to become a hip hop artist. Otieno had also been on medication for mental illness, but he was not able to take the medication while in custody. Hello, somebody. Which speaks to how backwards the goddamn penal system is. You have a man who we know is has mental illness, who takes medication for mental illness, and when these people go into jails, they're not concerned with making sure that they get the medication that they need. They don't care. But obviously, he was under such mental duress with his mental illness. They knew because maybe he had already explained to them, hey, I'm telling y'all, I take medication for mental illness. I need my medication. And they probably didn't give him his medication. But when it got too bad, what did they do? They decided to take him to the doggone hospital, mental hospital, not the regular hospital, not the regular ER. They knew exactly what to do, which was to take him to a mental institution, which leads me to believe that they knew he was someone who suffered from mental illness. So much so, they had him handcuffed and had leg irons on the man. They had the man on the ground and were choking him out. All seven of these detectives, all seven of these deputies on this one black man. Let me give you the timeline. Otieno's interactions with law enforcement began March 3rd, according to authorities. That morning, Henrico police responded to a report of a possible burglary and encountered Otieno. Police said in a news release on March 10th. Police officers, along with the county's crisis intervention team, put him under an emergency custody order due to the interactions with and observations of him, police said. According to Virginia law, a person can be placed under an emergency custody order when there is reason to believe they could hurt themselves or others as a result of mental illness. Crudis said, that's the family's attorney, Crudis said Otieno was experiencing a mental health crisis on March 3rd and his mother was on scene and implored police not to be aggressive with him. Henrico County police officers eventually placed Otieno into custody without further incident. Pause. Y'all started by saying that y'all were responding to a burglary situation. Here we are. He's with the mom. The mom told you he's having a mental, episode. Please don't hurt my child. So which is it? Y'all arrested him for burglary? Or was it the mom reaching out for help because he was having a mental episode? Either way, whether it was burglary or whether it was the mom calling, neither one should result in this man no longer being amongst us. Hey, Nicole M. Oh, Nicole M is 547. Hall monitors, hall monitors, hall monitors, hall monitors. Hey, Nicole, boo. But have a seat, Nicole. You came just in time. Girl, we talk about some good stuff over here. Well, not good, but we having a good conversation here, I should say. Otieno was taken for evaluation to a local hospital where he became, quote, physically assaultive toward officers, according to the police. He was held on 3 counts of assault on a law enforcement officer, disorderly conduct in a hospital, and vandalism, police said. Otieno was then transferred to Henrico County Jail West. So let's timeline this again. They're called because he's having a mental episode. Now, clearly, if the man is having a mental episode, depending on the nature of his mental diagnosis, he may be violent. Sometimes certain mental diagnoses, you are violent. That comes with the terror. That's a part of the process. So if you knew and the mom told you he had mental situations, that he took medication for mental illness, how then can you charge him with what were the charges? Disorderly conduct in a hospital and vandalism and assault on a law enforcement officer. You knew that there was a possibility of this because this man suffers from mental illnesses. What are we talking about? But you didn't care. There's no care for anyone outside of the four boxes: white, male, Christian, heterosexual. Because had that been a white young man that was under mental duress, I promise you he would be here right now. I promise you there would be no charges placed on him. None. 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 Let's keep going. So the man was having a mental episode. He acted out, which people with mental episodes do from time to time. So, and they gave him these charges and put him in the county jail because that's the smart thing to do. Person going through a mental episode, instead of going and getting them the help that they need, they take them to the county jail because that makes sense. At around 4 p.m. on March 6th, 3 days later, now this man went 3 days without medication now, 3 days. Otieno was taken to be admitted to Central State Hospital, a state-run mental health facility south of Richmond, by Henrico County Sheriff's Office, according to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. It's not clear why the deputies transferred Otieno. During the intake process, Otieno, according to police, became combative and was physically restrained. The attorney's office said, citing what state police investigators were told, he died at the hospital during the intake process, the police said. Virginia State Police were called to investigate the death at 7:28 p.m., the office said. The family's attorney, who has not seen video of the incident, said the deputies had engaged in excessive force. His mother was basically crying out for the attorney said that his mother was basically crying out for help for her son in a mental health situation. Instead, he was thrust into the criminal justice system and aggressively treated poorly at the jail. The Henrico Fraternal Order of Police Lodge for the local police union issued a statement on Facebook saying, stand behind the deputies, because that's what they always do. You notice Republicans are trying to do away with all unions. They want no parts of any unions. They're disbanding every union across the country except police unions. That's the one union. Oh no, we can't touch the police unions. You got companies from sea to shining sea doing everything they can to keep people from forming unions, firing people, laying people off, doing everything they can not to have people a part of unions. But the police union, oh yeah, we want some parts of that. A mess. So the police union on Facebook telling people to stand behind the police, the deputies. Right. We ain't here for y'all at all. Y'all barking up the wrong tree, police union. The wrong tree. That's all I got to read from that article. His name is Irvo, I-R-V-O. Last name is Otieno, O-T-I-E-N-O. We speak his name. That man was murdered at the hand of 7 deputies. Now, my question is, they done arrested, if you remember at the beginning of the article, they done arrested three men from the mental health institution. Darian Blackwell, Wavy, well, I don't know if they're all men. Darian Blackwell, Wavy Jones, and Sandarius Williams. Now, Sandarius and Darian sound black to me. Wavy might be, Jones might be black too. Now, my question is, if y'all watched the surveillance video and it was the police officers that were responsible for choking this man, smothering this man to death, how then are these black workers at this institution also now being arrested What were their parts in this whole situation? What's their part? What part did they play? That's what I want to know. I'm sure you'll start to hear more information on this story about Irvo Otieno and his death. He was 28 years old. We'll keep you posted on information as it becomes available. It never ends. It never ends. Let's go to the great state of Texas, governed by Governor Hot Wheels, down there to the great state of Texas. It is sad, but just wait. We got another black mother and another black family that's got to be out here burying their loved ones because they had to die as a part of this whole genocide that we have going on in America. There's a whole genocide of black men going on in this country. Had this been somewhere over in Africa, somewhere in Middle East, they would have sent the freaking the entirety of the military force to fight that country and stop them from the genocide that they were having in their country. But they ain't gonna do that to our own country. They turn a blind eye to the whole fact that there's a whole genocide taking place in this country. Just a mess. In the great state of Texas, here's one of our two feature stories of today. In the great state of Texas, Republicans have now taken over the Houston Independent School District. The school district in Houston the school district in Houston, which is the largest school district in Texas. Houston is one of the top 10 largest school districts in the country. I believe Houston is number 8 or 9. Someone check me on that. I know y'all, my fact checkers, some of my mods, they are great fact checkers. I know Houston is in the top 10 in terms of largest school districts in the country. I know number 1, 2, and 3. 1 is New York, 2 is LA, 3 is Chicago, 4 is Miami-Dade. I know that. Those 4 I know. It's number 8. Okay, I was right. So it's number 8. So because Florida has like, I think almost half the top 10 lists in the country are from Florida. I think 5 of them is Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. I know those 3. Shoot. Maybe Tampa with Hillsborough County. I figured them to be in there. Maybe even St. Pete with Pinellas County or Duval. But I know the big 3, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. I know those 3 are on there. I assume that Tampa is on there as well. Or maybe Orlando area with Orange County. Orlando area is Orange County. It might be Orlando. So anyway, but let me read this for you because this Orange County, okay, Hillsborough, I know those 2 as well. Okay, so Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, those 3 I know, and then Orange, which is Orlando, and Hillsborough, which is Tampa. See, I wasn't too far off. I wasn't too far off. Anyway, if you are a parent and you so happen to live in a red state, absolutely, if you live in the state of Texas, but if you are a parent who lives in a red state, you need to be listening to this story. You need to pay attention. This is the story that you need to pay attention to. Many people who live in red states live in large metropolitan areas and they believe that because they live in these large metropolitan areas, it buffers them from some of the racist laws and from some of the draconian laws and protocols, provisos, and rules that the other parts of the state have. And every now and again, that red state will go to those metropolitan blue areas within the state and flex their muscles and say, no, this is the red state. You need to believe and remember who we are. And that's what you got going on down here in the great state of Texas, in the city of Houston. Let me read this for you. Leaders of the Houston Independent School District, the largest district in Texas and one of the biggest in the nation, will be replaced by a new board appointed by the State Commissioner of Education, the district said Wednesday, raising questions over whether the new leaders will reflect the city's ethnic and racial diversity and its political priorities. The Texas Education Agency intends to replace the district's superintendent and board trustees, quote, in the next few months, end quote, the board said in a statement. The move comes just weeks after the state Supreme Court ruled in the state education commissioner's favor in a years-long dispute with the district over a law that lets the state remove boards of districts with schools that fail to meet certain state standards. The intervention reflects yet another recent case of white Republican appointed state officials trying to muscle control of key local powers in cities with mostly Democratic, Black, or brown leaders, including cities like Jackson, Mississippi, and Mason, Texas. Mason, Tennessee. Texas's education chief was appointed by its white Republican governor, while Houston school students are 62% Hispanic, 22% Black, 10% white, and 4% Asian. And the city's mayor is also a Democrat. The Houston schools takeover is, quote, troubling, but is not unexpected, end quote, said Mayor Sylvester Turner, whose purview does not include the city's public schools. The teachers union, the state teachers union, is furious about the Houston schools' decision. It goes on and on. Because they have 180,000 students there. They have 25,000 employees down there to Houston. Let me give you the long and short of it. Houston, the largest, I think Houston is what, the fourth largest city in the country, largest city in Texas, eighth largest school district in the country. And the only reason it's not one of the top four is because the area of Houston, Texas as a state, has become bereft with and engorged with charter schools and other private schools that are funded by the state, which takes money from public schools. So in a lot of these metropolitan cities, let me paint this picture for you, and then I'm going to tell you how this applies to you. In a lot of these metropolitan areas, these are some of the only areas inside of these red states where you will see school districts that have a majority Black and or Hispanic or other minority students. Because of that, they oftentimes have programs and curriculums that will help, them identify their own culture, ethnicity, that will celebrate who they are as an entity. So if you're in an area like Houston, you're going to see a lot of things dedicated toward the Latinx community. You're going to see a lot of stuff dedicated toward Black students. Why? Because that's the majority of their student population. Over 80% of their student population, about 85% of their student population is Black or brown. So they're going to have things in place and programs in place to meet their needs. That's the good part. The bad part is in some of these same Republican-led legislatures, they funnel monies out out of these public schools and public school districts with majority Black and brown students and push them into charter schools where there's no regulatory control on what's going on over there, what's being taught over there. They're not subjected to the same state rules and state standards and assessments that these public schools are held to. Their employees don't even have to be certified or any of the such. There's no scrutiny at all on these private and charter schools that the government is funneling public funds into, but there's heightened scrutiny on the public schools where they have all of the regulations and regulatory accountability that has to be had. There's ultra scrutiny. They have to follow every rule and standard to the letter. And then you have things put in place like school grades. So now you have state assessments where you're talking about schools whose funds are being funneled out of that school district, put into charter schools where they have no accountability, but you're making a school with less resources, less money, accountable to standards that you have not equipped them to be able to meet. Mind you, Texas is in the in the bottom 10 in terms of education, in terms of performance, in terms of curriculum and standards. I believe it's in the top third. I'm just going to say, bottom third, but I'm going to say, bottom 3%, not third, but bottom 3%. But I'm going to just round it out to the bottom 10%. But they are the lowest in the country in terms of state educational standards, in terms of educational performance in reading and math, in terms of teacher certifications, and so forth. They are in the bottom 3% of the country. I know this. I've been there. I know the statistics. They're funneling money out of these areas, these major metropolitan areas, because these Republican lawmakers, it's for them, it's like get back. It's like they're trying to get revenge on these areas that didn't vote them into office, that wanted no parts of them, and they were able to eke out elections based on all of the rural red areas. And so now, oh, y'all voted against me? Yeah, get so how you like me now. And they're going to enact all of these laws and things and put them in place to basically show them, yeah, we're here to stay, and we're going to inflict as much pain as we can on you all. But in the interim, the people that you're hurting are the students and the children. The very same people you're always ranting and raving, oh, we need to think about the children. Oh, we need to think about the children. Oh, we need to think about the children. Every time you hear people talking about, let's think about the children. Hey, Crispies, every time you talk about people saying we're in this for the children, it's never for the children. These are people in it for their own selfish reasons, their own personal gains and ideology. So what you got going on in Houston right now is you have a Republican governor who appointed a Republican white male Republican head of the Board of Education, Texas Education Agency, TEA. That young man now is going to appoint all of the people on the school board in addition to the superintendent of schools. So remember, I started off talking about in some of these states, these were the only areas where Black and brown students could get instruction, or could get people that understood them, could get people who were attentive to their needs, attentive to their culture, diaspora, attentive to the things that they, that would edify them in terms of their education. Now you're going to get Governor Hot Wheels and his appointee to put all of their people in there. And what do you think is going to happen? We're going by the letter of the law. The letter of the law says you can't have a single book that mentions a Black person or Hispanic person. All going. You can't have a single program that features or celebrates diversity or equity or an inclusion. All of that's going. You can't. They're going to start. Remember, we talked on this program about in Texas. There are certain clothing that they don't want students to wear. There's certain hairstyles they don't want them to wear. Hey, China White, there are certain things that culturally that they're trying to snuff out and stifle it amongst people of color, be they Hispanic, be they black. They're trying to do away with it. Remember, we did the story on the boy who wasn't allowed to graduate because he had dreads. Another boy who wasn't allowed to go to school until he cut his hair. But white kids can come to school with their hair every color in the rainbow, stick it any kind of way they want. So now you have a school district with majority black and Latinx student that's about to be led by people who want no parts of them, who aren't sympathetic to their needs, who could give two shits about their success or favor. But it's going to be cloaked in, this is for the betterment of the schools. Here's a part that I want to read. There's a really important part of one of the provisos to this. Where's it at? It was a very important part. I remember it. I'll just tell you. Oh, it was. I know where it was. It was in this one right here. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Here it is. Here it is. TEA, that's the Texas Education Agency, will remain in control of Houston ISD until no campus receives a D or F state rating for multiple years. That's just one of the provisos. That's just one of the requirements and benchmarks that they have to achieve. Let me read that again. They will stay in control of Houston ISD until no campus receives a D or F state rating for multiple years. So meaning every school in the entire district has to not have a D or an F, not just 1 year, but multiple years. A simple statistics class tells you that that's virtually impossible. A simple statistics class and a fucking bell curve will teach you that that's not freaking possible. That's just the first benchmark and proviso that they have to meet. If you are a teacher in that school district, please believe you are about to go under draconian authority when it comes to what you can and cannot do inside that school district. Please be clear. You need to be trying to bail the hell out now. Get out now. Don't wait. Don't mill it over. Don't let people tell you, oh, well, think about the kids. Baby, they're not thinking about the kids. Exactly, Morgan. How long is multiple years? Which means that they're setting the bar at a level that they know that these people are not going to be able to achieve. And you know what's coming in next? You know what's going to come next? What's going to come next is, oh, we weren't able. Oh, yeah, they don't have unions in Texas. Oh, no, they don't have unions. Oh, no, they don't have unions in Texas. They have an overall state teachers union, but they're not even allowed to form unions within the individual school districts. No, they can form the Texas Education So Texas Educators, a State Educators Associations. I forgot the name of it, which is like an overall, but they can't do anything. They have no teeth. It's a state union kind of deal. It's not like the traditional teachers union, which you have in each district. Mm-mm. They're not allowed to have that. So what you're going to have next is once they're not able to achieve those benchmarks in so many and so long, the state is going to do what they want to do. And what they want to do is do away with public education and have it completely privatized. They want to get rid of public education altogether and have it completely privatized. And once you get to private schools, they are allowed to teach you whatever the hell they want. They do not have to subject themselves to the United States Department of Education rules, laws, policies, and edicts. This is happening. If you have a child that's in this district, what that means is this. That child is about to be subjected to whatever heinous law, whatever heinous rule that they come up with. Your child is going to have to be subjected to that. They might say, ain't no such animal as Black History Month in our district no more. Your child's going to have to deal with that. They already done took the books out. They already took the literature out. Yes, these private schools receive taxpayer funds. They've already passed rules in Texas, and a lot of these other the deck has already been stacked in terms of education. Years ago, they did that where they passed the rules where they gave vouchers or had other systems in place where public funds were used in order to put kids in private and charter schools. That's been going on for years now with public taxpayer funds. And those schools are not required to report to the state or report to the taxpayers. Those schools are not required to adhere to any federal mandates with regard to education or anything. Texas, in public schools in Texas, they don't teach evolution. They teach creationism in Texas, in the public schools. So if shit like that is going on where they don't even teach evolution in Texas, they only teach creation. In Texas, you have to pass Texas state history, but they don't care if you pass American history. But you got to learn and be indoctrinated with what they teach you is their history. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not making it. This is not something that I'm pie in the sky making up. This is real. How that works is this. With education block grants, those go to that state. The state then funnels that out to various districts. What the states then do is they found the loophole that says if a school is failing that student, which is what we have going on here, if the schools, they put into place these school grades or the accountability grades for schools. And if schools don't meet a certain accountability grades based on testing or and other parameters that they have in place, they can get a failing grade. If a school, and they put into laws that if schools receive a failing grade for a certain number of years, then that school is not meeting the need of that child's education, and that child and that parent is allowed to seek better for that child's education. And so we've set aside voucher systems so that we can put into place a mechanism to have our friends who own these private and charter schools to get this money. Those charter and private schools do not have federal accountability and mandating at all. And so what happens is they cut more and more chunks out. Now, here's the deal. there is a certain there's a threshold that a state has to meet in terms of getting those block grants and in terms of maintaining those block grants, having a certain amount of public schools. But that threshold can be met with the rural areas, which is what they're counting on. The rural areas are already under draconian law. They don't care. So if they can do away with these metropolitan centers and have your child subjected to education like we're back in 1932, they feel all the better for it. It's more complicated than that, though. Camps. Me and Really B said we were going to do a whole teacher project 2.0, breaking down school funding and how they're able to get away with a lot of these things. If you recall, Betsy DeVos put a lot of stuff in place, and a lot of stuff in the education budget was gutted on the federal level. A lot of um, um, mandates and things on the federal level was gutted under Trump and under Betsy DeVos, because Betsy DeVos came from private charter school um, line of thinking. She wanted no parts of public schools. And I haven't seen, even though Biden's wife is an educator, they haven't really done anything to shift the pendulum back. The pendulum had um, was already shifting toward private and charter, and Trump and DeVos just streamlined it. And so the Biden administration has not done anything to shift the pendulum back. It's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. I'm gonna monitor. I hear you. I'm gonna monitor this situation, and I'll get with Really B, and we may break this down and look at it when we have more time, maybe on Teacher Project 2.0. But there's a lot. There's a lot more there. I know I got to get off here. We're going to Really be probably going live in probably another 10 minutes. So I need to get to my last article, my last story. So my last story is the Rasheem Carter update on Rasheem Carter. Now we talked yesterday. For those people who were not here, we talked yesterday about what happened to Rasheem Carter. There is we got some intimate details about what happened to we got kind of a timeline of what happened um to Rasheem. We also got this image that I found, which they say is the last image that they have of Rasheem, and that is him. That image is of is of Rasheem. It's taken from a Mississippi Trail camera, and that's taken on the day that he went missing on October 2nd. If you look at that image, the image says a lot but doesn't say a lot. We have him shirtless. We have him holding what looks to be a big stick. To me, this looks like somebody who is afraid for their life and for their safety, and maybe he got loose from somewhere. Maybe he got out of the was able to escape, even allowing them to get his shirt. Now I found out that he was a wide receiver and a basketball. He was the team captain for their football team, a wide receiver, and he was captain for the basketball team. So he's an athletic young man. He was only 25 years old, so he probably was able to outrun them, and maybe they finally caught up to him. I don't know, but that seems to be a stick or a log that he's carrying for protection. That's what it looked like to me. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But that's what it looked like to me. That looked like something where somebody's trying to, hey, YB, hey, Crispies. That looks like somebody who is trying to protect their safety. They trying to fight something off. They see a lot of people. That young man got that log and is like, here's the timeline. Now, that image, I was told, was given to the family by investigators a week before his remains were found, and that it basically shows something was wrong here. The man looked like I said he's running for his life with a bat or log. Now the police came right out. Oh, it's nothing to see here. No foul play. A 25-year-old man, not on any drugs, not on any medications, not mentally, have no history of mental illness, able-bodied, 25, played sports, as you can see here, doesn't look to have any ailments, magically dropped dead in the middle of the goddamn woods. And animals magically, we broke that down yesterday. Animals did not pick this young man apart. So here's the timeline. Here's the timeline. Now, if we look at that picture, some people are saying that it looks like maybe bruises on the arm. I'm not going to say that because the image is a little too fuzzy. They say it looked like it may be bruises on his arms. I can't make that assessment. I'm not going to go that far. It might be I don't know if he had tattoos, or it could very well be bruises. I don't know. The image isn't clear enough, so I don't know. They're also saying that by the time they got to his body, he was decomposed and pieces of the body were scattered about. Let's just be clear. Pieces of the body were scattered about. I told y'all yesterday that head and spine were detached from his body. Let me say that again. The head and spine were detached from his body. His front teeth, the top row and the bottom row of the front teeth were no longer there. The boy had a beautiful smile. If you look up pictures of him, beautiful smile. But his top teeth and his bottom teeth in the front were not there any longer. Animals don't do that. Let's be clear. We broke that down yesterday. So here's the timeline. So I just wanted people, they're speculating that you may be able to see bruises. I can't say with a surety that I see bruises there. I don't know if that's reflection. If that was a reflection from the trees and the sun. Well, he wasn't homeless, YB. What we found out is he was on a job there in near Tylersville, and he was staying at a hotel because he was on a contract. He was being contracted out for welding. Let me read this to you because it gets much more interesting here. Because we learned a lot more information is coming out. So let me see. Let me read this for you. Rasheem Carter ran into a wooded area on the day he was reported missing while holding what looked like a large branch, which we saw in the image, right? And that was captured by a trail camera. The 25-year-old Black Mississippi resident had gone missing on the 2nd of October last year after he said he was being chased by a group of white men in pickup trucks while they hurled racist language at him. Carter's remains were found in a wooded area south of Taylorsville a month later, while his family lawyer citing an independent autopsy reported saying that his head was severed from his body. His mother, Tiffany Carter, told the Insider on Wednesday that the image was given to the family by bystanders a week before his remains were found, and that it showed something was wrong and that her son was running for his life. Miss Carter earlier said he had sought help from the police and told her he was being chased. The Smith County Sheriff's Department, according to the Smith County Sheriff's Department, at the time, they said that there was no reason to believe foul play was involved. But on Tuesday, Smith County Sheriff Joel Houston said the possibility of murder had not been ruled out. Mr. Houston told NBC News that the early assessment of no reason to believe foul play had come at a time when there was no evidence that pointed to homicide. The mom said you could see there are bruises on him. So the mom is saying that there are bruises on him. That's according to the mom. The mom said, quote, you can see there are bruises on him. When I see that picture, I know my son was somewhere struggling, somewhere running for his life. She said, reiterating that she feels he was being chased. The picture shows something is not right. Something transpired. That's what the mom said. Let me get to the timeline. A day before his disappearance on the 1st of October, Rasheem sent an ominous text to his mother. A welder by profession who lived in Fayette, Carter had a short-term job as a contractor around 100 miles away in Taylorsville. Ms. Carter said he was saving money to try to get his seafood restaurant back up, and running after it was shuttered. I'm sorry, let me read that again. Mrs. Carter said he was saving money to try to get his seafood restaurant back up and running after it was shuttered during the COVID pandemic. But Carter reached out to his mother and told her in a detailed text message that he was having issues with his co-workers and feared for his life, Ms. Carter said at a press conference on Monday. Quote, me and the owner of this company are not seeing eye to eye, end quote. That's the message that he sent his mother. He also sent his mother, quote, if anything happens to me, he is responsible for it. He got these guys wanting to kill me. That's what he texted his mother about the owner of the company. Let me read that again. If anything happens to me, he is responsible for it. He got these guys wanting to kill me. Carter gave his mother the name of the individual he was fearful of and told her he was being targeted by a group of white men in 3 trucks. Quote, my son told me that it was 3 truckloads of white guys trying to kill him. And at the time that he told me, as a mother, you know, I had to think fast, she said. She said she urged him to go straight to the police station because I felt in my heart they would serve and protect like they are obligated to do. Carter did visit the Taylorsville Police Department on 2 separate occasions prior to his disappearance. For a month, Carter's friends and family conducted searches to try to track him down after his disappearance. There's another, hold on, I want to give y'all, because there's another article that I have that specifically goes through the timeline. Wait, here it is. Hold on. Because there was I got like 4 articles in front of me, y'all forgive me. And they really went into detail. One of them went into good detail with the timeline. Hold on one sec. All right. Is this it? I gotta find it now. I done lost it. But in one of the reports, they were saying that he went to the police and asked the police if they could give him a ride to his hotel because he felt in a danger for his life. And the police told him, this ain't Uber. This is not a taxi service. It's nothing we could do for you. They said that he went and asked the police, I really need your help. I really need somebody to take me home because I don't feel safe. There are people following me. And he also asked for if he could charge his phone because his phone was about to die. According to reports, the police told him this is not a taxi service. We will not be taking you back to this hotel. And they also did not allow him to charge his phone. That's the last anybody heard from him. I'm trying to find that article um where it gives it when I think this is it right here. I think this hold on. I can't find it. I have to look it up. And but yeah, when I was looking it up and I was doing some extensive research, they have come out and said he did go to the police. That the police absolutely did tell him, no, it's not a taxi service. You on your own, sir. And the rest is history. That man is dead. There's no way a man's body is now they did say there that it did look like there may have been some animals that may have gotten to the body, but those animals, it looks like they got to the body after he had already been dead. Animals don't go about the business of kicking your teeth out of your mouth. That's not something animals do when they're feeding. Animals generally don't really be going for the head area because the head don't got that much meat on it. Animals are instinctually smart like that. They're going for the legs, the ass, the arms, the stomach. They ain't going for no head because the head don't got enough meat for them. And the man and that man wasn't no fat man. He was lean, he was fit. An animal is not going to go and detach his head and spine from his body. An animal is not going to kick just his front teeth in. This is bad. This is bad. But this is America. This is America. I'm trying to find it, the article with the timeline before I get off. I'm about to get off in a second because I know really B is about to go live, but I really was trying to find it. I think this may be it. Show. I can't find it. Of course, when I need it, and I had it, and I can't find it. Hold on. I can't find it. Stupid me. And I was supposed to keep that. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. Here we go. I found it. Hold on, real quick. Here's the part. Okay. On October 1st, Tiffany Carter says her son sent an alarming text accusing three white men in a pickup truck of following him. Um, It goes on to say he eventually went to the Taylorsville police station to ask for a ride to his hotel, which was on the other side of town. He was denied, with officers reportedly telling him they weren't a taxi service, according to Huffington Post, which spoke with local authorities at the beginning of 2023. Meanwhile, Taylorsville Police Chief Gabe Horn told another outlet a different story in December. An article from the Democrat claims Chief Horn said Carter filed a police report but declined to press charges. The outlet claims Carter instead asked for a ride and a phone charger, but that officers refused because his hotel was outside their jurisdiction. The last time Tiffany Carter spoke to her son was around 10:15 a.m. on Sunday, October 2nd. That's the last time she spoke with him. Meanwhile, the footage from the local businesses showed Carter in the area for 14 hours before he disappeared, Chief Horn said. By the time the family friend arrived in the area, he was nowhere to be found. A month later, an image of Carter was captured on a deer camera in a wooded area south of town. It was time stamped 4:25 p.m. on October 2nd. Carter never made it back to the hotel. That's your timeline. Last time the mama talked to him was that morning at 10 something. That timestamp of that picture that we saw was at 4:25 p.m. that same day. And you see him, he ain't got no shirt on. That was after he told mom, I'm afraid for my life. Something's happened. That was after he went to the police. Can y'all take me home? I don't feel safe. They told him that's on the other side of town. That is in our jurisdictions. This ain't no taxi service. And that picture we see is of him holding a stick, looking like he's in fear for his safety and his life. We learned two names today. We learned Ervo Otiendo, and we got more updates on Rasheem Carter. Those of you in the Virginia area, I'm surprised y'all haven't heard of this story of Ervo Otiendo. But you know, these things, you know, once they start to get traction, they move kind of quickly. So that's all my stories for today. I know we got to get out of here. I just wanted to make sure I got that to y'all. Listen, y'all, I'm about to get out of here, as I always say. I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. Y'all, I am so grateful for y'all being here with me. You could have been a whole lot of places, but you were here with me, and I am so glad and thankful that you were. Listen, y'all. Tomorrow we have that live where on Ready Beach channel where we're going to interview Sean from Chasing Dallas. We will have Silly Saturday on Saturday. I already secured my color commentator. So we'll be here on Saturday doing what we do. If you want to contribute to the channel so you can see more stuff like what we're going over today. Thank you, YB. You're more than welcome to send a cash app. As I stated, if you are a member, please send me a message on Instagram so I can add you to the members only Instagram group. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. You want to be in there. It's a whole lot of fun in the members only group. They be clowning. Anyway, we're going over to Really Be. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.